My glasses are dark, which means the sun is out. We're out here in the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful wilds of Carlsbad. Hopefully you can see everything behind me. Maybe you can hear the buzzing of the guy mowing somebody's lawn. Hope it isn't disturbing you too much. What are we doing here today? We're talking about going to work on your company, not just in your company. And of course, you've got to create a company first if you're going to go to work on it. And believe it or not, most of the problems I come face to face with have nothing to do with where you are in your company. Whether that be all by yourself, a company of one, or there with a company of 3, or a company of 7, a company of 12, but how you started it. So we're here to talk about again and again and again and again how to start your company, how to begin it anew, with hopefully a blank piece of paper and beginner's mind. So stay with me, and please don't get bored by my repetition. The repetition is very, very, very important for you. There's a way to do this. If you've got the will, I've got the way. There's a way to do this. And unfortunately, just about every way on the planet is describing a way to disaster. This is not about getting a lot of clients. You're not ready for a lot of clients. This is about getting what, in fact, you are ready for, so you can get ready for more. Getting what you are ready for, so that you can get ready for more. I hope that isn't too tricky a phrase. Let me get to some of the questions. Tony sent me a question. I'm going to read the whole thing. He said, Michael, I've stepped into the role of president general manager of a 40-year-old Filipino food wholesale business located in Chicago, importing food and selling to grocery stores, restaurants, and other suppliers in the Midwest and Southeast. My question is, I read the e-myth and need to systematize everything, roles to functions, such as marketing to sales to order entry to fulfillment to shipment to accounting to customer service. I'm overwhelmed, and I need what is reasonable to tackle in the next 30 days with a business that's already running at $3 million with 6 employees. Well, Tony, there's a very good reason for why you're overwhelmed. It's because should you do what in fact you're there to do, anybody would be overwhelmed. So let's start it anew. Let's look at it from 2 perspectives. First, there's Oldco. That's capital O-L-D, capital C-O. That's the company you've got. Then there's Newco. That's capital O-L-D, capital N-E-W, capital C-O. That's the company you want. So you're there to sustain the company you've got while you're growing the company you want. There are 2 different processes. So hear me, if you're going to turnkey the company you've got, which is for sustainability, so that you can get ready to grow the company you want for continuous improvement, then you've got to go to work on it with your left and your right. Your left for Oldco, your right for Newco, which means you have to split your attention. Now hear me, every single one of you I'm speaking to right now. Split attention is absolutely critical from an entrepreneurial perspective. You have to split your attention. On the left, on the right. Left is Oldco, it's the company you've got. Right is Newco, it's the company you're about to invent. For Newco, it's a blank piece of paper in beginner's mind. For Oldco, it's putting your company into sync. So every single action in your company is congruent with every other action. In core, you have to have a business platform upon which Oldco will be able to perform its ordinary services in an extraordinary way. Does that make sense? Great. So, Tony, what does that mean? Tony, you're going to go to work on Oldco by systematizing the functions you described. In order to do that, I'm going to refer you to someone. All you need to do is to email me directly at Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, at michaelegerber.com. Just say, this is Tony, the guy with the company in Chicago. I want to work on old co while I'm getting ready to grow new co. Trust me in this, Tony. Just email me and I'll link you to someone who's going to be able to turnkey old co so you can get ready to grow new co. You got it? Absolutely spectacular. You're going to be a winner, Tony. You're going to absolutely blow people's minds. Okay, well, James asked me if I could pick any type of business on the planet. Doesn't matter what kind of business it is. To start up in today's market, what would it be? Well, Tony, James, let me say to you, it would be whatever your heart is called to do. Do you understand? People think that there's always a special time for a certain kind of business. There isn't a special time for a certain kind of business. The special time is what's driving you in your heart. What is it, in fact, that you're moved by? What is it, in fact, that's calling you? What is it, in fact, that's inspiring you? What is it, in fact, that's moving you? James, you've got to go inside and then go outside. And you're going to begin to discover something extraordinary out there because you've discovered something out of the ordinary in here. So here's the very first thing I want you to do, James. What I want you to do is to sit down with a blank piece of paper and begin with a list. What's calling to you? What's calling to you? What's calling to you? There is no right business to be in, James. There's just a right way to be in it. There isn't a right business to be in. There's just a right way to be in it. So, James, sit down and make that list, and then email me, Michael@michaelegerber.com. James, send me your list. Send me the list, your heartfelt list, and then I'll get back to you. Terrific. Somebody said, what are the biggest struggles for small business owners, and how can you overcome them? The biggest struggles for small business owners are so patently clear. They are, I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know how to get there even if I did. I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know how to get there even if I did. So it starts out, whomever you are, with a dream, a vision, a purpose, and a mission. I've got a dream, I've got a vision, I got a purpose, I got a mission. Clarity, 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 clarity. That's what's missing in every little company on the planet. Because it's missing in every single person who starts every little company on the planet. You got me? I got a dream, I got a vision, I got a purpose, I got a mission. I got to understand what that is. Next question. What's the best way to make a company more productive? Well, the answer to that question is obvious. Make it more productive. In short, if you were to start it out right, with your client fulfillment system clearly in place, what is it that we're taking to the market? How is it that we're taking it to the market? How standardized is it that we're taking to the market? How scalable is it that we're taking to the market? Productivity is obviously a function of performance. Performance is obviously a function of mastery. Mastery is obviously a function of knowledge, the knowledge that resides at the heart of how you do what you do, the reason you do it, for whom you do it, and the impact that it has. Productivity is simply a word until it turns into an action. So follow me. If you, in fact, have a problem with being productive, email me and tell me that at michael@michaelegerber.com. Just email me, and I'll then give you a response to what your particular problem is. The other question, what advantages are there for starting your own business? Oh, it's so simple. Independent. Understand, I call it the 5 essential skills of independent-minded people. The 5 essential skills of independent-minded people lead someone to be independently driven. To be independently driven is what we're born to do. We were not born to work for someone else. We were born to create. If we're born in the image of God, I believe in that. We're born to create. And that's the discrete and extreme advantage of being in business for oneself. We have the opportunity to be at the center of our Earth's universe. We have the center of our Earth's universe to create something beyond belief. You get to do that. I get to do that. We get to do that. And guess what? There's a way to do that. And we have been helping people to do that for now 40 years. There's no reason for struggle. Struggle is simply a function of not knowing. Struggle is simply a function of lack of clarity. Struggle is simply a function of lack of understanding. Struggle is simply a function of following someone else's muse rather than your own. Find it, you own it. It's all yours. Pursue it. Question: how do you apply your recommendations to a service-oriented business where you, the person, are the brand? Hear me, you're not the brand, Andrea. It is. I'm not the brand. It is. And this is so important for you to understand. A brand is earned. It's not invented. A brand is earned. It's not invented. So all of the stuff out there is saying, become your own brand, become your own brand. Let me show you how to become your own brand. A brand is a personality. A brand isn't a personality. A brand is a capability. A brand is a capability to make a promise and keep it. And to make a promise that nobody else can make and keep it in a way that nobody else is able to keep it. A brand is an extraordinary reality existing in the world. How do you do that? You do that in exactly the way that I'm describing you do that. You do that in exactly the way McDonald's did that. You do that in exactly the way Starbucks did that. You do that in exactly the way Google did that. You do that in exactly the way Facebook did that. It's not the person, it's the capability of the promise fulfilled. So you're going to go to work on it in order to invent it. And as you begin to do that, something astonishing occurs. I think that's the last question I've gotten so far. No, here it is. As an online entrepreneur, what do you think to outsource all my business? Or is it better to outsource just some parts of it? James, it's not about outsourcing. It's about producing the result. It's not about outsourcing, insourcing. It's not about doing it yourself or having them do it. It's about what is the most effective way to produce the most effective result in the minds of the people you're doing it for. Again and again and again and again and again and again to scale it so you can grow it to the point where you've created an absolutely positive impact on the planet. How you do that is exactly how I've described it. It's an 8-step process. Whether you're online, offline, doesn't make any difference. Whether you're hardco or softco, doesn't make any difference. Whether you're brick and mortar or nothing order, it makes absolutely no difference. The process is identically the same. So I would ask you, James, what's your dream? What's your vision? What's your purpose? What's your mission? What's your job? What's your practice? What's your business? What's your enterprise? James, tell me what your biggest single problem is. Write me at michael@michaelegerber.com and I'll answer you. So that's all the questions I've got right now. Let me see here. Now, this is very, very difficult. I'm trying to read this thing. I'm walking around out here in Carlsbad, California. Looks like a jungle out here, but it's actually not. The guys are here coming to work. I'm going to go where I can actually read this, and you're going to just stay here with me. Understand that whatever I've told anybody I've told it to, whatever question anybody's asked, whatever interest any of you have got, you've got to understand there's a standardized process for doing this whole thing. There's a standardized process for doing this whole thing. This whole thing isn't a mystery. This whole thing is very, very simple and very, very straightforward. Now we're getting to a place where I can see you and you can see me. And now I see some questions that people have. Are there software programs you would recommend to create standard operating procedures? Sure, I would ask you to email me at michael@michaelegerber.com and we'll have the conversation depending upon what it is you wish to do. Another question. Let me see what that question is. Hold on, please. Blind as a bat. Wonderful. So listen, I've got this to say to every one of you. We've obviously just started this. So obviously we're not really got all this together. I'm walking inside. So the light is going to change. You heard the door slam? Perfect. My face is right here. I can see it. I don't think it's very extraordinary, but there you go. So my face is right here. Now I'm going in here to sit down. I'm to go sit down, and then I'll be able to rest rather than walk, so I can talk while you listen to me. There's a very simple model on the planet. And the very simple model is what we have created over the past 40 years. You know, this has worked and worked and worked and worked for every single person who's worked it. Again, there's no magic to it. I want you to hear me. There is absolutely no magic to it, and there is no mystery to it. There's nothing special you have to know. There's no experience you've had to have. There's no technology that's been able to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to go. In short, it's not a technological solution you're looking for. It's a personal solution you're looking for. And that personal solution resides within your imagination, provided you follow the process I'm suggesting to you. Jake says, I was introduced to your work at a seminar of the century back in 2007 in Aspen. Great event. Thanks, Jake. It was a great event. Long time ago. Charles says, thanks for your deep insight. Charles, thank you very much. I would love to say they're deep, but they're actually not very deep. Carson says, the E-Myth book gets it. You better believe the E-Myth book gets it. And why does the E-Myth book get it? Because Ray Kroc got it. The guy started at 52. What's your problem? Now, understand, I've been guilty of repeating myself and repeating myself and repeating myself, but that's because it's true. You understand? The only reason I tell this to you, because the sucker is true. It's something you can do, that every single person on the planet can do. I call it radical self-employment. I'm saying that you can, in fact, take a company of one, just you, just me, just her, just Jim, and you can convert that company of one into a company of 1,000. And I'm saying there is no magic to it. It's just a process. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Ron says, been reading you since E-Myth and still am. Great. Listen, Ron, read Beyond the E-Myth, The Evolution of an Enterprise, from a company of one to a company of 1,000. Read it, and then let's do it. Because when you read it, you'll instantly see it. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7, step 8. I'm driving myself crazy. So hear me, I'm kind of awkward with this Facebook thing. I've not chatted on Facebook at all, and I hope I'm not driving any of you crazy. I hope you're getting it. I hope it's not really too outlandish for you. I'm looking at my glasses. My glasses are looking outlandish. But what can I say? Anyway, so here we are. So here's what you do. I want you to all come to my webinar. Now, I'm going to let you know when the webinar is on. I believe it's on sometime this week. I'm not sure. My people have told me, but I keep on forgetting. All I'm doing is getting ready for our launch. Now, what's our launch? Our launch is Beyond the E-Myth, The Evolution of an Enterprise, from a company of one to a company of 1,000. Our launch is to liberate you from whatever you're stuck doing. Our launch is going to tell you how simple it is. My launch is going to tell you how simple this is. I didn't say easy, but I do mean simple. You understand, in this process that I'm describing to you, you do the first step and you get it right. And then you do the second step and you get it right. And then you do the third. You get my point? You don't go to the second step until you got the first step. Everybody is trying to get you to the second step. Hear me. You don't go to the second step until you get done with the first one. And it's going to drive you crazy. So that's why I say it's a two-co strategy. TWOCO, strategy. On your left, on your right. On your left is what you got. On the right is what you're about to create. On your left is what you got. On your right is what you're about to create. On your left is old co, what you got. On your right is new co, what you're about to invent. You start new co with a blank piece of paper and beginner's mind. You go to work on old co to get the sucker right, so it's dependable, so it's sustainable, so you can forgettable, so you don't have to thinkable, so you don't have to workable, so you don't have to be in it and in it and in it and in it. The little sucker's doing what it needs to do while you're doing what you ought to be doing, which is creating the future. You follow me? So clear, so important, so absolutely stunning as you begin to do it. So let's talk about one of the parts of it. Let's talk about your client fulfillment system. Let's talk about step one in the process, from the job to the practice to the business to the enterprise. You note, most people think they own a business if they're out there doing it. You don't own a business. You understand? Until you really understand what a business is, you'll never really understand that most of you don't own a business. You got a job. And if you were to stop doing the job, if I were to stop doing this right now, I'm out of business. Now, you understand what I mean. If I stop doing this right now, Facebook chat right now, if I pull the plug on me right now, there is no more. It's over. Because it depends upon me doing this. But you understand, this doesn't depend upon me. It's already over there in a script. Murray can do it. Judy can do it. Jack can do it. Janet can do it. Jimmy can do it. Everybody can do it. That's why I built E-Myth. Everybody can do it. It works. So it doesn't require experts to work. It doesn't require what's called an expert coach. Somebody who knows something you don't know. Doesn't require that at all, because it knows what everybody needs to do and when everybody needs to do it and how everybody needs to do it. The system is the solution, provided the strategy. The strategy is alive and well. You follow me? It's absolutely clear. So let's look at the 4 steps, from the client fulfillment system to the client acquisition system to the turnkey management system to the turnkey leadership system. What is a client fulfillment system? It's the product you're preparing to sell. The product you're preparing to sell is a service or a product. It's something you can hold in your hand, or it's something you have in your head. It's something, in fact, that's going to make a difference out there in the world. You already know what the difference is, because you already know what your dream, your vision, your purpose, and your mission are. And yes, that's a process. And yes, we will take you through that process. And yes, every single one of you can do that process. You understand? You don't need to know anything to come here and do that. That's what's so exceptional. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's never been about me. It's never been about her or him, or it's about them. And they are the people you're here to serve. And you better know who they are, and you better know what they need, and you better know what they want. You better know what's missing in their picture. And you better know why it's important to you. And you better know what you're going to do about it. But you don't have to have all the answers when you start on the job. The job with a capital J. You don't have to know all the answers when you start on the job. You're going to go to work on the job, not just in the job, to invent a client fulfillment system. And it's going to be a visual system, an emotional system, a functional system, and a financial system. Yeah, you heard me say this the last time we were on, but still you haven't taken it in. Hear me, it takes quite some time sometimes for somebody to really take this in, to get all the other crap out of your mind so you can really, really take this in. You got me? You got to really, really, really take this in. You're about to create something you've never even dreamed of before. Your client fulfillment system is visual, it's emotional, it's functional, and it's financial. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it do? How does it do it? And what's the money like? And you're going to go to work on that, to develop that. Once you understand what your dream, your vision, your purpose, and your mission are, once you understand who your most important customer is, you've got to define that person. You've got to know that person. You've got to pursue that person in every way you can. You've got to do research on that person. You've got to pick the right demographic, the absolutely central demographic model consumer you're focusing your entire company on, just like Facebook did, just like Google did, just like Starbucks did, just like McDonald's did, just like every company on the planet must do. You've got to do that too. So you understand when you say, how do I fix this? How do I fix this? How do I fix this? The truth of the matter is, the last thing you want to do is to fix old code. The last thing you want to do is to fix what you've got. The most important thing you want to do is to create what's in fact waiting to be created. That's your job. You're the creator. You're the inventor. You're the Imagineer, as Walt Disney has said. You're the one. In order for that one to actually inspire someone else, you have to know who that person is. You follow me? It's all about them. It's all about them. It's all about them. It's not about you. And so when you think about that, you have to set about doing just this. I want you to finally begin to do this in the right way. Now understand, we got to do the dream, the vision, the purpose, and the mission. We got to do that. But the first thing I'm going to ask every single one of you to do is, who are you here to serve? Say that. Who am I here to serve? New co, not old co. Who am I here to serve? When the gentleman said to me that he's now the president and general manager of the Philippine Food Company, and you described all the different prospects. He's in a wholesale business, importing food and selling to grocery stores, restaurants, other suppliers in the Midwest and the Southeast. You understand, he's got to pick the most important one he's going to serve, and he's got to pick a way he's going to serve them. So he's got to decide what is true about every single one of them. They're not just objects out there waiting for a sales call. They're not people who have already made up their mind to buy Filipino food. They're people who are making decisions every single day in ways that you're making decisions every single day. And those decisions are most often made unconsciously. Those decisions are never truly made with integrity. Those decisions are simply made out of habitual reaction to what's going on in the world. You've got to do something other than that. And as you begin to do something other than that, you begin to see something other than that. There's an opportunity waiting for every single one of you. And so when I say radical self-employment, you understand that's really what we're setting out to create. Radical self-employment, that's how you begin this journey, this entrepreneurial journey. And you're going to start out by making a list of every single central demographic model consumer you have in mind. Why do you have them in mind? Because they interest you. In other words, a great company starts with curiosity. A great company, a great mission starts with curiosity. It starts with interest, not an interest in making a living. Not that kind of interest. Not with an interest in the millionaire next door. Not that kind of interest. not with an interest to become someone you think you wish to become in order to get what you wish to get because you don't have it. That isn't the process at all. All of that sucks big time. You're here to learn how to grow. And what's so extraordinary to each and every one of you is it's simple. Hear me, it's simple. Just as McDonald's is the most simple business on the planet. The most simple business, just like Starbucks is the most simple business on the planet. Now hear me, the guys at Starbucks might tell me, no, Michael, it's not simple, all this complicated stuff, but hear me, it is simple. And the evidence that it's simple is demonstrated by the fact that it's growing like Topsy. It's so simple, it's so clear, it's so self-evident. That's what you have to do. So understand, we're just going to say you already have a dream, a vision, a purpose, and a mission. No, you don't have, but you're going to have, because it's going to make it easy for you to begin that process. But then what? Then you're going to go to work on your company. And we'll call it a company of one, because David's got a company and Tony's got a company. And what is it? Bay has got a company. And Jeff has got a company, and Judy's got a company, and Jerry's got a company, and I've got a company. We've all got a company. And I'm going to say it's a company of one. It's just us guys doing it, trying to make a living, trying to get by. All of us have a company. It's a company of one, and it's on the left and it's on the right. On the left is the company as it is, and on the right is the company we're going to create. Put that down in your mind and in your log book. Tuco. Put a TM next to it, because Gerber just said it to you. Tuco. It's a two-co strategy. It's not a one-co strategy. It's not fix my broken business strategy. It's not get more customers strategy. It's not grow strategy. It's none of the stuff that everybody's telling you need to do. You got to begin it anew. You've got to begin it anew. You got to become an apprentice. Why? Because I want to diminish you? No. Because it's so important. Because until you become an apprentice and let go of all of your beliefs, until you begin it anew, you're just churning old wood. Aren't you tired of that? I mean, aren't we all simply tired of that? Because all of that old wood hasn't created a great fire. That great fire starts anew. It's like a born-again Christian. He or she suddenly says, I got it. That's what I want for you. I got it. He spoke to me. Not Gerber, not me, not this guy you're looking at. That's not the guy who spoke to. I'm saying she spoke to me from inside my heart. And now you're going to go out and look for. You're going to look for. You're going to look for. You're going to discover what you're here to do. So absolutely critical. Timothy says visualization, observation, activation. Cool way to put it, Timothy. It's visual, it's emotional, it's functional, it's financial. I hate to keep on repeating myself, but I'm going to keep on repeating myself until it becomes a habit. But it's a habit for absolutely right-minded growth. Right-minded growth. Yes, Landon, Tuco. Landon Bowden says Tuco with a 2 and a C-O. Tuco. You got it, Landon. That's what we're doing. So please, I make myself available to every single one of you. It's Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, at michaelegerber.com. Email me, say Facebook, and then do whatever you want to do. Say what you ever want to say. Ask whatever you want to ask. And I'll be back to wet your whistle next time. Love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.